Protista is divided into three groups: photosynthetic protist, consumer decomposer protist, and protozoa. Kingdom Protista is divided into three groups: photosynthetic protist, consumer decomposer protist, and protozoa. Amongst these three groups, protozoa you will study in zoology. So let's discuss about photosynthetic and this group. Photosynthetic protist includes dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates, they come under the division Pyrophyta and class Dinophyceae. In the two kingdom classification system, all the photosynthetic organism, all the photosynthetic algae, they were placed together under Plantae. And that division which was given to dinoflagellates, that is Pyrophyta, and the class to which it belongs, that is Dinophyceae. Now the second one, that is diatoms. Diatoms, they are included under the division that is Chrysophyta. And class to which they belong, that is Bacillariophyceae. Right? ये जो क्राइसोफाइट्स है, इसके अंदर दो ऑर्गेनिजम्स आते हैं. One is diatoms and the another one is golden alga. Golden alga, also known as desmids. Last category I will be dealing here, that is euglenoids. Euglenoids belong to the division Euglenophyta and family Euglenophyceae. Division Euglenophyta and class Euglenophyceae. Now, dinoflagellates, they belong to division that is Pyrophyta. Pyrophyta means fire. Now, some of the members of dinoflagellates, they are bioluminescent. They are bioluminescent. They will emit light because of this condition, because of this feature. Dinoflagellates, they are placed under the group that is Pyrophyta. I am going to write name of one of dinoflagellate which shows bioluminescence. Bioluminescence. Emits light, that is Noctiluca. Noctiluca, it emits light, it shows bioluminescence, that's why it is also known as night lamp. Now, under the consumer decomposer groups comes consumer decomposer group, also known as slime molds. अब इनको हम कंज्यूमर क्यों कहते हैं? Because they show holozoic nutrition. Why they are known as decomposers? Because they show saprophytic nutrition. Consumer decomposer protists, they are also known as slime molds. In the two kingdom classification system, the slime molds, they were placed under the kingdom. They were placed In the two kingdom classification system, the slime molds, they were placed under the fungi in the class that is Myxomycetes. So you know that for the fungi, suffix which is utilized, that is mycetes, and myxo is term utilized for a slimy covering. The two kingdom classification system के अंदर this slime molds, they were placed under the class of fungi because some of the feature of consumer decomposer protists, they resemble fungi. But due to their unicellular and eukaryotic nature, now they are shifted to Protista. Fungi के साथ similarity present है, but due to their unicellular eukaryotic nature, now they are shifted to the kingdom Protista. That's why they are also known as Protistian fungi. Protistian fungi. Protistian fungi includes acellular slime molds. Acellular slime molds, they are also known as plasmodial slime molds. Second category, that is cellular slime molds. Cellular slime molds, they are also known as communal slime molds. I will be writing few examples for acellular and cellular one. In the acellular, you write example Physarum. Another one, Physarella. Then, Fuligo. Under communal category, you write one example, Dictyostelium. Another one, Polyspondylium. So this is all about grouping of Protista. So under these groups, first of all, I will be dealing with photosynthetic protists. So I will be performing comparative study between dinoflagellates, diatoms and euglenoids. Before starting with the comparative study between the different photosynthetic protists, I will be dealing with type of flagella. अगर फ्लैजिला के ऊपर कोई भी आउटग्रोथ नहीं है, any type of the outgrowth over the flagella is absent, such type of flagella, it is known as smooth type, also known as whiplash type or acronematic. अगर फ्लैजिला के ऊपर आउटग्रोथ प्रेजेंट है, यस, फ्लैजिला के ऊपर आउटग्रोथ प्रेजेंट है, additional structures present है, these additional structures, they are known as flimmers or they are known as mastigonemes. Flimmers or mastigonemes. अगर additional structure present होंगे, this type of flagella, it is known as tinsel type, also known as pleuronematic. This pleuronematic flagella is divided further into two categories. As I have shown here, the mastigonemes, flimmers, they are present only on one side. When the flimmers, they are present only on one side, this type of flagella, it is known as stichonematic. Mesonematic. If the phlemas, they are present on both sides, like this. Phlemas, they are present on both sides, like this. This type of flagella, it is known as pantonymatic. Now, after dealing with the type of flagella, now I will be starting with the comparative study between different photosynthetic protists. Dinoflagellates, diatoms, and euglenoids. First feature which I will be discussing here, that is habitat. Dinoflagellates, they are mainly marine in nature. Some of the form, they are freshwater. They are living in the fresh water, but mostly they are marine. Mostly marine. Dinoflagellates, they are present both in the marine as well as freshwater environment. Marine as well as equally in freshwater environment. For the freshwater, please write FW. Euglenoids, mainly they are present in freshwater environment. Mainly freshwater organisms. After habitat, now I will be dealing the protective covering which is present around these organisms, that is cell wall. Dinoflagellates के अंदर जो cell wall है, that is sculptured. It is made up of sculptured plates. Sculptured plates, they are made up of cellulose and pectin. तो dinoflagellates के आसपास thick wall है, which is hard, sculptured. Due to the presence of this hard, sculptured protective covering, dinoflagellates, they are also known as armored protist. तो इस हार्ड प्रोटेक्टिव कवरिंग की वजह से डाइनोफ्लैजिलेट्स दे आर नोन एज आर्मर्ड प्रोटिस्ट. Diatoms. In the diatom, cell wall is siliceous in nature. Cellulose is present, but along with the cellulose in the cell wall, there is presence of silica. Cell wall के अंदर cellulose के साथ साथ silica present है. Siliceous cell wall. The cell wall of diatoms is transparent and it is cell wall is transparent and it is divided into two halves. Cell wall transparent है और दो halves के अंदर, दो parts के अंदर divided है. Yes, to explain these two parts, I will be making diagram of one of diatom, that is pinnularia. पिनुलेरिया के अंदर ये जो सेल वॉल का पार्ट है, ऊपर वाला पार्ट, अपर हाफ ऑफ द सेल वॉल, इट इज नोन एज एपिथिका. This is lower half of cell wall. This lower half, it is known as hypotheca. As you can see, epitheca and hypotheca, they are arranged in such a manner that the organism will give the appearance of soap box. Arrangement of two halves of the cell wall is such that it will give appearance of soap dish or soap box. So soap box like, soap dish like appearance is there. In the यूग्लिनॉइड्स के अंदर सेल वॉल एब्सेंट है. Instead of the cell wall, there is presence of contractile covering which is known as pellicle. Cell wall absent. Cell wall की जगह एक contractile covering present है, that is pellicle. This contractile covering is made up of proteins, lipids and carbohydrate. For carbohydrate, you please write CH. This pellicle is made up of parallel strips. Pellicle बनी हुई है parallel strips की, और इन parallel strips को हम कहते हैं myoneins. Made up of parallel strips, and these strips, they are known as myoneins. After the cell wall, now I will be dealing with locomotion. I am making diagram of one of dinoflagellate, that is gymnodinium. जिम्नोडाइनियम के अंदर मैंने ये सेल वॉल दिखाई है, प्रोटेक्टिव कवरिंग. As we have discussed right now that this protective covering is sculptured. It is made up of sculptured plates. So I am showing this sculpturing pattern. Hard cell wall. But in the cell wall, you are seeing here two grooves. सेल वॉल के अंदर दो ग्रूव्स नजर आ रहे हैं. एक ये ग्रूव है, ये तो है ट्रांसवर्स ग्रूव, और एक ये ग्रूव है, दिस इज लॉन्गिट्यूडनल ग्रूव. सो दिस वन इज ट्रांसवर्स ग्रूव. This transverse groove, it is known as girdle, known as cingulum, also known as annulus. Now, what is annulus? Annulus means ring. तो ये चारों तरफ groove present है in the form of ring. That's why it is known as annulus. Now, this is longitudinal one. This is longitudinal one. This longitudinal groove, it is known as sulcus. One flagella is present in transverse groove. ट्रांसवर्स ग्रूव में एक फ्लैजिला प्रेजेंट है. ये जो फ्लैजिला ट्रांसफर ग्रूव के अंदर प्रेजेंट है, इट इज रिबन लाइक. एक फ्लैजिला प्रेजेंट है यहां पर वर्टिकल लॉन्गिट्यूडनल ग्रूव के अंदर. जो फ्लैजिला लॉन्गिट्यूडनल ग्रूव के अंदर है, ये नैरो है, ये थिन है. तो इसका मतलब डाइनोफ्लैजिलेट्स की बॉडी के साथ दो फ्लैजिला एसोसिएटेड है. वन इज रिबन लाइक, अनदर वन इज थिन नैरो. When the two flagella associated in the body of the organism, they are different. This type of flagellation, it is known as heterocont flagellation. अगर दो फ्लैजिला जो ऑर्गेनिज्म की बॉडी के साथ एसोसिएटेड है वो डिफरेंट है, तो इसको हम कहेंगे हेट्रोकॉन्ट फ्लैजिलेशन। यहां पर जो लोकोमोशन होगा दैट इज विद द हेल्प ऑफ फ्लैजिला। लेट्स सी हाउ द लोकोमोशन विल बी प्रोसीडेड। अगर ये फ्लैजिला मूव करता है तो ऑर्गेनिज्म की मूवमेंट होगी दिस डायरेक्शन के अंदर। अगर ये फ्लैजिला मूव करता है तो ऑर्गेनिज्म की मूवमेंट होगी इस डायरेक्शन के अंदर। बट हियर बोथ द फ्लैजिला दे विल मूव एट सेम टाइम। दोनों के दोनों फ्लैजिला एक ही टाइम पर मूव करेंगे। तो एक फ्लैजिला धकेलेगा ऑर्गेनिज्म को इस तरफ, दूसरा फ्लैजिला उसको पुश करेगा इस तरफ, जिसकी वजह से जो नेट मूवमेंट होगी ऑर्गेनिज्म की दैट इज सर्कुलर मूवमेंट। Organism will move circularly. Organism will show lattu type movement. Yes, this movement which is shown by the organism, it is known as spinning movement. लट्टू की तरह घूमेगा और ये जो movement organism show कर रहा है, write the name of this movement. This is known as spinning movement. जो ऑर्गेनिज्म स्पिनिंग मूवमेंट शो करते हैं, दीज ऑर्गेनिजम्स दे आर नोन एज whirling whips. Got this? So what is the name of movement? Spinning movement. And organisms which show spinning movement, these organisms, they are known as whirling whips. Now after this, now the second category, that is diatoms. In the diatoms, in somatic phase, flagella is absent. सोमैटिक स्टेज के अंदर फ्लैजिला एब्सेंट है, तो इसका मतलब फ्लैजिला की वजह से लोकोमोशन मूवमेंट नहीं होगी। तो अब यहां पर मूवमेंट कैसे होगा? फ्रॉम द बॉडी ऑफ डायटम्स देयर इज रिलीज ऑफ म्यूसिलेज। डायटम्स की बॉडी से एक स्लिपरी सब्सटेंस रिलीज होता है दैट इज म्यूसिलेज, एंड दिस म्यूसिलेज will result in the movement of diatoms. This will cause the movement of diatoms. So this movement which is caused by the mucilage, it is known as mucilage propulsion. Mucilage propulsion. Now coming to the euglenoids. In the euglenoids, to explain the movement, locomotion, I will be making diagram of one of the euglenoid, that is euglena. Now the shape of euglena is like a spindle. They are spindle. Shape of euglena is like a spindle, so that's why they are also known as spindle shape organisms. So this is body of euglena, जो बाहर वाली covering है, outermost covering, that covering is pellicle, and pellicle is made up of parallel strips like this. Pellicle is made up of parallel strips like this, and these parallel strips, as I have discussed now, they are known as myonemes. euglena की ये जो anterior side है, एंटीरियर साइड में यहां से अराइज होगा फ्लैजिला। जिन पॉइंट से, जिन स्ट्रक्चर से फ्लैजिला अराइज होता है, दी स्ट्रक्चर्स दे आर नोन एज ब्लेफारोप्लास्ट। यस, फ्रॉम दीज टू स्ट्रक्चर्स विच आर नोन एज ब्लेफारोब्लास्ट, टू फ्लैजिला विल अराइज। वन फ्लैजिला इज स्मॉलर इन साइज, एक फ्लैजिला स्मॉल साइज का, वन फ्लैजिला इज लार्जर इन साइज। जो flagella small size का है, that flagella is whiplash type, that is smooth. और जो flagella long है, उस flagella के ऊपर present है mastigonemes, flammers only on one side. So this category of flagella is stichonematic. So this one is smooth, smaller one. Larger one is stichonematic. Two types of flagella which are present, they are different. So again, this condition, it is known as heterocont condition. Yes? Please write it down here. Please write this here. Heterocont flagellation. ये जो दो फ्लैजिला है, ये रूट से जुड़े हुए हैं. जहां पर ये दोनों फ्लैजिला जुड़े हुए हैं, there is presence of one structure that is known as paraflagellar body. दोनों फ्लैजिला जहां पर जुड़े हुए हैं, वहां पर एक स्ट्रक्चर प्रेजेंट है, that is paraflagellar body. पैराफ्लैजिलर बॉडी के ही साथ में यहां पर एक और स्ट्रक्चर प्रेजेंट है. वन मोर स्ट्रक्चर इज प्रेजेंट इन द नियर बाय एरिया. दिस स्ट्रक्चर विच इज प्रेजेंट हियर, दिस इज नोन एज आई स्पॉट. बोथ पैराफ्लैजिलर बॉडी and eye spot, they are photosensitive. Yes, they have the ability to absorb light because they contain light absorbing pigments. So they absorb light because they contain light absorbing pigment. The pigment which is present in the eye spot, that pigment is astaxanthin, red color pigment. And the pigment which is associated with the paraflagellar body, that is lactoflavin. Now in the Euglena, one type of the locomotion is performed with the help of flagella. Flagella की help से locomotion होगा. And the second type of the locomotion can performed with the help of this contractile covering, that is pellicle. तो लिखिए यहां पर, one locomotion will occur with the help of flagella. Second, locomotion can occur due to the contractile pellicle. इस pellicle की contraction से और expansion से movement हो सकती है Euglena के अंदर, and this movement which is assisted by pellicle, it is known as wriggling movement. So this is wriggling movement, or it is also known as metaboly. So the structure of spindle organellum Euglena is very much clear to all of you. So I am repeating 2-3 points here. ये जो दो flagella यहाँ पर present है, they are different. So what type of flagellation? Heterocont flagellation. ये जो दो structures यहाँ पर present है, they are photosensitive. They will absorb light due to the presence of pigments. And here the locomotion, one, it occurs with the help of flagella, second with the help of contractile pellicle, and this locomotion, it is known as wriggling movement. Now the next point which I will be discussing here, that is nutrition in these organisms. So now I will be doing comparison between these three types of the photosynthetic protist with respect to nutrition. In the dinoflagellates, there is presence of photosynthetic nutrition. They are photosynthetic autotrophic organisms. For performing this photosynthetic nutrition, they possess pigments. The pigments which are present, that is chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, alpha carotene, Along with that, there is presence of xanthophyll. Now in the diatoms, again they are autotrophic, photosynthetic, and the type of pigments which are present here, again chlorophyll A, C combination, but now instead of the alpha carotene, there is presence of beta carotene and diatoxanthin. Diatoxanthin, it is only a type of xanthophyll. It is a type of xanthophyll. Now the last category, that is euglenoids. In the euglenoids, let's cite example of euglena. When the light is present, जब light present है, euglena shows autotrophic nutrition. It is photosynthetic. But when light is absent, जब light absent है, euglena work like decomposer. It work like decomposer, showing saprophytic nutrition. तो सिंगल ऑर्गेनिज्म दो तरह का न्यूट्रिशन शो कर सकता है. लाइट प्रेजेंट होगी तो ऑटोट्रॉफ, लाइट एब्सेंट है तो हेट्रोट्रॉफ. व्हेन सिंगल ऑर्गेनिज्म कैन शो टू टाइप ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन, दिस टाइप ऑफ कंडीशन इट इज नोन एज मेसोट्रॉफिक न्यूट्रिशन. Two types of nutrition is shown by euglena. This is known as mesotrophic nutrition. Now the next thing, in the euglena, the pigments which are present, euglena के अंदर जो pigments है, these pigments they resemble higher plants. Higher plants के अंदर जो pigments present है, same pigments they are present in euglena. They have combination of chlorophyll A and now not C, chlorophyll B. Along with that, there is presence of beta carotene and xanthophyll. Right. Now after the nutrition and pigments, next feature I will be discussing here, that is reserve food. Dinoflagellates के अंदर the reserve food is in the form of carbohydrate and oil. In the diatoms, reserve food is present in the three forms. First one is the volatile granules. As we have already discussed, volatile granules, they contain phosphate reserve. Second one, oil. Oil content in the diatoms is very high. As we know, oil is lighter than water, so this oil helps the diatoms floating over the water surface. The oil which is present in the fishes, that oil is also contributed by diatoms. Now the next one, that is leucosin. Leucosin represent reserve food in the form of carbohydrate. In the euglenoids, the reserve food which is present, that is in the form of para-amylon, that is a type of carbohydrate. Para-amylon. Now after reserve food, now next one which I will be discussing here, that is vacuole. In dinoflagellates, there is presence of non-contractile vacuole, and this non-contractile vacuole is known as spicule. Non-contractile vacuole, known as spicule. Diatoms के अंदर there is presence of large central vacuole. Large central vacuole. Euglenoids. As we have discussed here, euglenoids, they are mainly freshwater organisms के अंदर there is presence of contractile vacuole which helps in osmoregulation. Contractile vacuole performing osmoregulation. Till now you have studied that cellular structure is of two types, that is prokaryotic and eukaryotic. But one category is there in between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic. This category is known as mesokaryotic condition. So you are getting this? Prokaryotic, eukaryotic, and in between category is mesokaryotic. Among these three groups, first one is mesokaryotic. This is eukaryotic. And this one is also eukaryotic. In the mesokaryotic condition, in the cell there is presence of large nucleus. Cell ka major part is occupied by the nucleus. And inside the nucleus, chromosomes which are present, they are without histone as well as RNA association. Large nucleus, और न्यूक्लियस के अंदर जो क्रोमोसोम्स हैं, in the chromosome histone association as well as RNA, both of them, they are absent. So after dealing with the comparative study between these three photosynthetic protists, now I will be dealing with reproduction in them. So I will be dealing reproduction first in the case of diatoms.